You are listening to the podcast For Wales, See Wales. Now, we are a podcast all about Wales, Welsh issues and Welsh politics. So if you want to be more informed about Wales, please keep listening. But in the meantime, we just need 2 minutes to pay the bills. As you know, I speak a lot about the environment and environmental issues and sustainability, which makes me a really interesting person at a dinner party.
And to do a podcast with.
Yeah, sorry, my thoughts and prayers are with you guys all the time as I pontificate. But
no, we don't even have any food. At least at a dinner party you get a meal.
Yeah, exactly. You get a meal with it.
Our sponsor, Lion Containers, there is actually an environmental consideration and an environmental reason for actually using a converted shipping container. Because although when you think of shipping containers being shipped across the world, this massive lump of metal, you might think that's not environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
But if you use this shipping container and you convert it for things like restaurants, leisure complexes, bars, shops, and actually it can have a lower environmental impact compared to some bricks and mortar structures. Also, they're not permanent. They have a 40-year lifespan and you can recycle the metal afterwards.
So it's like upcycling anything. At the end of the day, if you're just giving it a new life, I suppose that's better than creating again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love an upcycle. I think it's I would love to retire and just upcycle, just spend my days on marketplace sites, just buying things. I love a little project.
Okay, a potter.
Yeah, I'd like to have a shed or container.
Come on.
To potter around in.
So if you are thinking about getting some kind of space to securely store your stuff, and you don't want to buy a big lump of plastic, which is going to last you about 5 years before the wind destroys it, consider maybe getting yourself a big old Lion container, which after 40 years, after 4 decades, you'll be able to recycle it
40 years is genuinely quite impressive though, isn't it?
So I'm very excited to see you guys at the container. I'll see you guys there.
This will be my first time in a Lion container.
Really?
Yeah.
But,
Losing
all
your
of
Lion
us.
container virginity.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we can all be there to watch.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I hope that this is the kind of content Lion Containers wanted.
I think this is the vibe, right?
Yeah, this was the brief. Yeah.
This was exactly
Yeah.
the brief they gave us. We
Yeah.
haven't deviated
At
all. So if you do want to get yourself a secure container, go to lioncontainers.co.uk.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of For Wales, See Wales. I'm Robin Morgan.
I'm Mel Owen.
And I'm Will Hayward.
Hello.
How are we all?
I'm pretty... No, you go. You go.
You're pretty
Good.
Me too.
Work is really busy at the moment.
Sure.
But there's basically 2 awesome things. So last weekend was my brother's stag do,
Oh, okay.
which I was organising.
You went to a castle, right?
We did. We went to a castle. Have I not told you this?
You showed me the castle, yeah.
Yeah.
Show me a castle.
I didn't show you the castle. I think it was when you guys were off. Basically, brother's stag do. We hired laser tag.
Yeah.
Yes.
We hired them, but they were like elite level.
Oh,
laser tag.
amazing.
They had a range of 30 meters.
It's a lot
That's
of
great.
meters.
So we were running around this castle, like sniping each other from windows and
my
battlements
days.
and all sorts.
Where was this?
It was in Wiltshire.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Very strong.
But I also have another thing coming up next week. So basically, for my birthday, my girlfriend didn't buy me anything because I was like, I'd like to do like some kind of event.
An activity thing.
An activity.
I love an activity gift.
A
yes.
wedding.
Yeah, she's organised me a wedding.
Yeah, lovely.
So I didn't realise how well she knew me until she booked this. Have you heard of Hold On To Your Butts?
No, do you?
No.
Okay.
Hold On To Your Butts is a Jurassic Park reenactment.
Oh, I'd love this. I'd love this so hard.
It's so fucking good. So
Where is this?
it's in London, but I saw it in Edinburgh like a year ago. But I can't remember where it is. She's not organising. But basically, that's coming up. I'm going in a couple of weeks. And it's just these 3 people just reenacting the entirety of Jurassic Park, but with just like little props and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they become the dinosaurs and like...
We've never had a dinosaur chat.
We haven't.
I'm such a dinosaur girly, so I've seen the latest Jurassic World twice, once in 2D, once in 4D. I love anything Jurassic.
Do you like it? Because I don't like the new ones. I'm a purist.
They're not as good as the classics, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But this one was jumpy. This one was, I was screaming, genuinely.
This isn't the new one with Chris Pratt. Is this the new one?
It's the new one. So Jonathan Bailey.
Yes.
etc. Very handsome. Yes, he looks good in a what's it called, the harness.
Sure.
He looks great in a harness. Yeah, we need dinosaur chat. Maybe not on the pod, but yeah.
But basically, I'm just very, very excited.
It's gonna be
that I
great,
get to go.
mate.
It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
You've been on a boat.
I've been on a boat. I genuinely feel there's a proper term for it, but where you feel like you're swaying. I still feel like I've got sea legs.
Really? Like you can still feel
Yeah,
it?
I got back last night.
Is it choppy?
On the final day it was.
Was it Southampton?
No, Catania, Sicily.
Oh, okay, mate. All right.
It did look really nice.
It was lovely.
Your pics were great.
Thank you very much. I saw a giant turtle. He was giant and a turtle.
love turtles.
They were fun.
Like in the wild.
Yeah, swimming in Kefalonia.
I love that.
Do you know what species?
No.
He didn't ask it. He doesn't know. Do you remember when we were talking about Galapagos?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the big mama turtle.
Was yours a turtle or a tortoise?
I don't fucking know.
If it was swimming, it was a turtle.
That guy.
Oh, it's a turtle.
I love a turtle.
I believe that's a green turtle, I think.
There you go. Because you had a tortoise.
Yeah, I have a tortoise.
You have a tortoise.
Yeah, I have a tortoise. Sleepy
I
Gary.
love turtles. Sleepy Karen.
Sleepy Gary.
Sleepy Gary. It's cool. Or Karen, you know?
Yeah.
Either or. So much fun.
It was fun. It was good. My legs were a little bit wobbly, but but very nice. Thank
Cool.
you.
How many gigs a day did you have to do on the boat?
3.
3.
It was quite a lot, actually.
That is a lot of gigs.
Is that going to be the same people as well?
Sometimes.
Oh, man.
So you can't just repeat the same stuff.
Did I? Maybe. Did they say stop doing that after about 6? Yeah. They're sometimes testing gigs. You're not in, you're not in like a comedy club. You're very much in like the side room on a ship.
Yeah.
And
How
then
long is a gig on the ship?
those ones 30 minutes.
It's a long time.
It's quite a long time.
To do
isn't it?
3 times, actually. Because
Yeah.
obviously we double up often in comedy. You'll do 2 in one night.
But
and
different audiences.
It's a different audience. It's a different club. It's a different
Yeah.
vibe. Same room 3 times?
Yeah.
Oh, so my mind would play tricks on me because I'd be like, have I
Yeah.
already done this?
But also like family friendly. There's like kids there.
Oh, God.
No,
And then
sorry.
you do like one like adult one, like late night comedy, and everyone's like
Naughty.
really excited about it and talking about it all week. Just like all the adult ones coming up for you, you get to say whatever you want. Like we could say like you can like no offense, like not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
me like hi. But then I sort of walked. So it started at 11:30 p.m. this one,
Yeah.
like the penultimate night, and I walk out and then expecting just like it's just like adult. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I walk past 6 buggies that are like on the way to the stage, and I was like, oh, people haven't like taken their
Yeah.
kids home and stuff. It's still just like a crash. I'm like, they're going to learn some new words.
Yeah,
'Cause
this is what they get at.
Yeah. But, you know, it's nice to be home.
Oh, well, it's lovely to have you. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you.
I've got my buggy in the back, just for
appreciate
watching
it,
language.
What's going on with you? Nice shirt.
Thank you so much.
It's a nice shirt.
I think I look like a divorced dad on holiday. But do you know what?
What is it? Crabs and lobsters?
Lobster. I love
Bit of chilli.
I love a lobster. A lemon as well.
It's very summery.
It's given 40-year-old dad in Hawaii. His wife's left him.
Yeah.
You know.
It's quite on holiday. Dad
Yeah.
goes, I'm going to buy that shirt. And the wife is
Yeah.
like, don't buy that shirt.
Don't buy it.
I feel like you should smell of dupe.
Yes, I should.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Sauvage. You know that
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
Did you ever see that? It is quite problematic, isn't it? Did you ever see the advert, the bus advert of that, and someone changed the V to an S, so it just said sausage?
Oh gosh, it's not what Johnny Depp was going for, is it at all?
So I'd love
No.
a fragrance called sausage.
I've been dying to tell you guys. So last week I took my mum to see Stevie Wonder in Cardiff. Amazing gig, so cool. But it was the demographic was very much people my mum's age and their children holding their drinks while they're dancing.
Right.
So there was a lot of that, you know. And there was a lot of, speaking of divorced dad, there was a lot of men approaching my mum throughout the night, and I was like chief cockblock, being like, sorry, she's married to my father happily most of the time, I think. I hope. And there was a lot of that. And then I went to the bar. And then I looked back and she was talking to a guy and I was like, for God's sake. But then I looked and it's someone we'd all know. And I was like, this isn't going to be an issue. This is fine. But my mum doesn't know him. And I don't know why she's talking to him so intently, like kind of holding his elbow a little bit. And I was a bit like, she doesn't know him. I don't know why she's doing this. Like she's friendly, but not this friendly.
Right.
I went over to her and I was like, why were you speaking to X? And she was like, oh, didn't he used to work for Dad? And I was just there like, no, Mum, that's Adam Price. It's Adam.
Adam Price was just chatting to your mum.
Yes. So, but no, I think my mum had approached him
Sure.
to be like, "How's it going
Yeah.
since you went?" and everything like this. So my mum's chatting to Adam
But
Price.
he's never worked.
But no, as far as I know, he's not a tradie. You know,
Yeah.
So my mum's like thanking him for like everything he did.
So she just picked Adam Price out of the crowd.
I just thought that like he worked for my dad at some point.
That's
and so poor
funny.
Adam Price had the most
in all
baffling-
likelihood, Adam Price will be looking for work in about 9 months.
Well, there we go.
He is quite far down the list.
But he must have had the most baffling conversation of his life with a woman hugging him, thanking him for stuff.
That is so
Although when she
surreal.
went, thank you for your work, he probably was like, you are so welcome.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, you are welcome.
You're welcome, Wales.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, Mum, no, that we didn't work for Dad at any
That's
point.
so funny. I imagine it was a who's who, that gig.
Yeah, it so was. It was great though.
So we normally record this podcast on a Monday or Tuesday, and it goes out on a Thursday.
Sure.
We got a really lovely comment from someone in the comments saying that they stay up to listen to it. Well, I really appreciate that. We're also sorry because we're actually recording this on Thursday.
Yeah,
For
we're
the
a day
first
late.
time ever, we're a day late.
I
Right?
Yeah,
No.
so I really hope that you've gone to bed by now and
Please,
realised
yeah.
it's not coming.
This thing really bleary-eyed whenever this is out.
It was just the only way we could get the three amigos together because
Yes.
Robin
Boat.
was on a boat.
Yeah, Captain Pugwash over here.
It was a Pugwash. My surname's Morgan. I could so easily be Captain Morgan.
Yeah, Captain Morgan.
And you've thrown me under the fucking poop deck with Pugwash.
Oh, thrown under the poop deck. You're so nautical.
Gracious. I mean,
So nautical.
He's a seaman now.
I'm
you know?
a seaman. I'm a seaman.
But we have
You're
had...
going to bring that up out of context at the next live show, aren't you? And I'll go, when did I say I'm a seaman? There we go.
Putting it in the notes now.
we have had some voice notes which we requested,
have,
haven't we? That people can
yes.
send us on Instagram.
You introduced that so confusedly, like you've never heard of a voice note before. We have a voice note?
We have a voice note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I heard somebody the other day, an older person, call it a chat group. And I was like, oh, no, it's
cute.
not. It was so
Chat
close. Yeah, so close. But no, in the chat group, we do have a voice note. We have two, actually.
Shall we have a listen?
Let's do it. The first one is from Dean Davis. Are we ready?
Dino.
Dino.
Thank you for the invite. Makes me feel very special. Hey, love the pod. Love all three of you. Just with what seems to be going on at the moment with reform, seem to be looking like they're going to win seats, whether in the Senate or the general election. What happens to politics afterwards? That's where I'm sort of confused about. It clearly can't go on the same way. It needs massive change and a massive shake-up. I feel reform will show people that they are incapable of running policy, running government, whatever it is they're going to do. But then that leaves the whole country in a massive mess, I feel, and just really sort of scared about what the future holds long term with no real stable structure within our political system. Keep up the great work. Can't wait to see you, Wrexham.
Well, thank you, Dean.
Dino.
Can't see you in Wrexham.
Nice plug for the live show by Dean.
Thank you
Very
so
nice plug
much.
for the live show
Very
by Dean.
strong.
It was good.
Good
it was
work,
good.
Dean.
Not even requested.
So this is the first time me and you have heard this, isn't it, Robin? We haven't.
Yeah.
So I was going to bring this in later, but I might as well mention it now because it kind of pertains to that. The first thing to say is I've got something really good to report on reform, but it's going up on Sunday, so we'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk about it next
Little
week.
tease. But I was at an event last night with a group called Public Affairs Cymru, so essentially lobbyists. As a journalist, you are always a bit like, oh, do I want to hang out with lots of lobbyists? But some of them are very nice people. And it was very nice of them to invite me, and it was a panel involving Leanne Wood, former Plaid Cymru leader, Adrian Masters, who is political editor for ITV Cymru, and a guy called Dr. Matthew Wall, who is a really interesting academic from Swansea Uni. And I've basically went up to him at the end and was like, please come on the podcast.
I'm a bit of a fangirl of his.
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah,
'Cause he's not Irish, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a fangirl.
They were talking about a reform win, and the consensus was that I agree with this. I don't think there is going to be, as we've said before, I don't think reform can ever put together kind of coalition to have a majority. But if they are the biggest party, the main opposition, I think what will be really interesting is, and this was something that was been discussed a lot, is what happens with the Labour and the Tories if they do really, really badly. Because, like, I'm going to bring this back to reform in a sec. Imagine for a second that Labour do terribly. The third place party, they end up with, 17 seats in a 96 seat parliament. If that does happen, obviously Eluned Morgan steps down as leader. There is then a massive fight within the party about what direction they go in. I can totally see, and other people, this isn't just my thinking, other people have agreed with this, that I can see there been splits within the Conservatives and Labour groups. So it might be that you get a split between, if Labour do badly and you've got the kind of Westminster-focused, more centrist, more Devo-sceptic elements of the Welsh Labour Party going towards Starmer, and then you've got the more kind of traditional Welsh Labour, I could totally see that splitting. I could totally see there been splits in a group, and it wouldn't just be a motivation because for them because of ideological reasons. If you split and you have your own leader, that person gets paid more because they're a leader within the Senate. There'd be financial imperatives. And I can totally see that happen with Labour. I can totally see it happening with the Conservatives. And I totally think it will. I'm so sure it will happen with Reform. Do you remember Mark Reckless?
Yeah, Reckless by name, Reckless by nature.
Exactly. He decided to come at me on Twitter recently.
What's he doing now? Just because he was the first Tory MP to defect to
UKIP. Right?
UKIP.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how he kind of became known to anyone.
And didn't he do a tweet about like, I've celebrated with an orange juice or something like that?
I can't remember.
I
can
don't know why
totally
I
imagine
remember
it.
that so
I
much.
love that.
Yeah.
He ran for the Senate after that, and he was a UKIP member. He was elected in 2016. He was with 5 parties over his time there. So he was with UKIP. He went to the Brexit Party. He then went to the Abolish the Assembly Party. There was another one. Where the hell else did he go? He went to another one. Tories, UKIP, Abolish, Reform, and Brexit Party. He was those 5 parties.
Wow.
So what I think happens if Reform do well in Wales is I think there'll be splits and fights almost instantly.
Well, yeah, I think Reform, and I think we've said this before, Reform are probably going to implode either way, right? And I think, kind of going back to Dean's question, it is scary as a voter to be like, if they do well, and like they do well, it's scary because then they govern. And then if they don't govern and they implode, also for like our political stability, that is also scary, isn't it? And I think, like, where do we go from this? There has to be some kind of consideration from the leading parties in Wales, that people are unhappy. I do think the majority of people who vote Reform, in order to sleep at night, I have to believe this in my heart, that they're not bigoted people. I don't think they're bad people. I think they're people who feel ignored and disenfranchised, and they've had somebody for the first time in a long time say, we get you. Unfortunately, that person is being dishonest and lying to the majority of the time. But there has to be a consideration of why those people haven't been able to vote for other parties up until now, and how do we stop this from happening again?
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before. Like, if they're the biggest party, but they can't form a government, then they're almost in the perfect situation where they don't have to govern.
Yeah.
But they can be this very noisy opposition, which I think suits them down to a T. But I don't think the maths will work with them and the Tories getting the numbers. So unless they're in a minority government, because Plaid can't form a deal with Labour and the Greens.
I think the thing is, there's just no way I think that Reform would be able to be a minority government just because no one would work with them.
Yeah.
If they can't work with Tories, no one would work with them. One of the points that Professor Wall guy said as well, which I think a lot of us have got that instinct, is what is happening in Wales will be looked at not just in the UK context, it will be looked at beyond Wales. Like, if Reform win in Wales or do really well in Wales, that will be reported across the world. Like, the rise of the right.
Yeah.
Of that kind of extreme right.
There'll be another statistic in that, won't it?
And because of that, money is going to absolutely pour in. And it won't be just like donations that we've seen recently in Welsh politics. It will be things like loads of like Facebook ads, like the algorithm that will be shown to people is going to be really, really toxic. It's going to be pretty brutal, I think. But I think if Reform do well in Wales, it might take quite a lot of the shine off them. I don't think people are going to think, I like what I'm seeing from Reform in Wales, because actually they're not doing amazing in the council areas, which they're quote unquote running.
But by not doing well, what do you mean?
I think the problem is when you're positioned as like anti-everything, the characters that you tend to attract can be quite divisive. Yeah. And I think there'll be a lot of infighting, and Reform's vote share and the increase they're getting is relying on a lot of people who don't traditionally voting. And in order to get those people out to vote on the day, you need a strong ground game. You need a lot of people on the ground who are getting people out, getting them registered, getting them out to vote. If you're alienating lots of people within your own party because there's divisions, and it's much harder to get those kind of troops, for want of a better word.
That's interesting. That idea of kind of like being anti-everything, at some point that stops working, that model, doesn't it? When you be like, it's the same kind of people in an office. You're like, I say what I think and I don't care what other people think of me. And it's like, well, you're fucking awful.
Yeah.
You're exhausting.
Nobody likes you. Okay?
Yeah.
Everyone hates working with you.
So eventually, if you're in control and you're still like, well, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you standing for? What positivity are you bringing to the table? What are we gonna do?
I mean, the revolution always eats its children, doesn't it? Like, Donald Trump is now getting absolute pelters from people within the MAGA movement in America because of him not releasing the Epstein files. You can't feed a monster and go, oh yeah, monster, eat this. It gets stronger and stronger, and then you go, oh my god, it's coming for me.
Yeah.
Like
much like Jurassic Park.
Exactly.
They went to the fucking park. What did they expect to happen?
They were too busy thinking about whether they could.
They didn't stop to think of the should.
Yeah.
Gosh.
This is the problem.
I'm so happy right now.
I'm gonna watch Jurassic Park later.
Like we saw like with America, like the Tea Party movement in like late noughties, they were going after things like the Obama wasn't born in America conspiracies, and they get fed, and suddenly the Republican Party gets swallowed up by this. We saw it with Brexit. Like you can never be pure enough for the extremes. They're never sated. They're never satisfied. Thanks very much for the question, Dino.
Yeah, terrifying.
It is, isn't it?
It's just
it is so. And I'm trying to be like, because I think we all try to be balanced, right? And what I would hate to do is alienate anybody listening to this to make them feel silly for thinking of voting that way.
Yeah.
But like, I'm struggling to call it anything but terrifying, right?
I think it's for me, it's how fractured we are, and whether there is actually a way back into a more of a consensus, or whether we're just going to be in this everybody basically polling at between 10 and 20%.
Yeah. I agree. I think a lot of damage was done from Brexit, for example, but I think the biggest damage that was really done long term is the divisions it created within society. It wasn't like that it's harder to get abroad, it's harder to buy in products, which are obviously really a nightmare, but it's the fact your neighbour suddenly becomes your enemy. And I think their fault lines, which are really hard to put back together.
Yeah, well, I think people are, as you said, people are feeling let down and left behind, but the social fabric is crumbling away, right? And I think like you're seeing that with the rich getting richer and the poor are struggling. So unless those things are sorted, are Reform the party to be doing that? Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose we will see if they get him.
Yes, we will. Well, and we'll still be reporting on it. Well, we'll be reporting on it. We'll be making sarky comments.
From a gulag.
Have you straight against the wall. Thanks so much for sending that in, guys. We really do appreciate that. Keep sending them. Instagram, Mel will pick them up. But I want to move on because I was weirdly name dropped in the Senate.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah. So, what I want to talk to you now is, do you remember last week we were talking about admissions to religious schools and how children of a particular religion were being prioritised over children who were in care?
Yeah.
And how this was a massive scandal. Well, this was raised in the Senate by Jenny Rathbone, and she was asking the Education Minister, Lynn Neagle. I'll play you what they said because I watched this when it was happening and I was so annoyed. So let me play it.
Read by Will Hayward last week, indicating that some faith schools were not respecting that important commitment to social justice. So I want to dig a bit deeper on how the government, through Estin and the 22 local authorities, actually monitor whether all schools have that same commitment to looked after children.
Thank you, Jenny, for raising this important issue, and it's really good to hear about the commitment St Tylo's has to supporting looked after children. I should say that we're not aware, or at least we don't have any evidence of to support the claims made in the newsletter by Will Hayward that looked after children are being treated unfairly, and if there are any concerns that anybody knows, knows of, I would be very keen to hear of those, and I would follow those up. And in terms of faith schools, all admissions authorities must give highest priority in their oversubscription criteria to looked after children, including within schools with a designated religious character, whether those children are of their faith or not. And first priority is given to looked after children of their faith over other children of their faith in church schools. So, all local authorities should be prioritising looked after children. This is an area I'm really passionate about personally. I think we all have corporate parenting responsibilities across the public sector. They are our children, they're our responsibility. So if any members are aware, or indeed Will Hayward himself, of any specific examples, I would be very happy to follow those up.
Okay, let's break this down.
Oh, okay. So we'd like Will to do the government's work, if that's okay.
So let's just take some of what she said there, because they don't have any evidence to support the claims I made that religious schools were prioritising people of their particular faith over looked after children. There's just no evidence of it. I mean, where could one possibly find this evidence? And she would take this seriously. Lynn Eagle takes this seriously. And,
she's passionate. She said, "Well,
exactly.
She's passionate about
very,
it.
very passionate. So let's find exactly what she said. This is an area that I'm really passionate about personally. Okay. They have corporate parenting responsibilities. I mean, how can you watch that and not believe that she is going to get to the bottom of this? But don't worry, because if any members are worried, or even indeed Will Hayward himself wants to raise some stuff, specific examples, she'd be happy to follow those up. So, Lynn, let's go through these. After I watched this being said live, so just to be clear, what we're saying is, what the claims with no evidence, apparently in the newsletter, was that faith schools were prioritising children of their faith over non-religious children who've been in care. That was the claim made, of which they had no evidence. I then spent 45 seconds on my phone, just sat there. Quite hard to do it on a mobile, but I'm passionate about this. So I went on and went on Google, found within about, as I say, under a minute, I found the Cardiff councils. They'd done a breakdown of the prioritisation of kids in Cardiff and how they prioritise them. So under their admissions policy. So I scrolled down just two. And I found St Bernadette's Catholic Primary School. They have their oversubscription criteria. Let's read out the list. So, category 1, baptised Catholic looked after children and previously looked after children. So basically, their first priority is Catholic kids who've been in care. Number 2, it was baptised Catholic children who have a sibling at the school. Okay, so that's the second priority. Number 3, it was baptised Catholic children who live in the area. Number 4, it was baptised Catholic children who reside outside of the above two categories and who have a sibling. Number 5, it was baptised Catholic children who reside outside of the 2 and 3, but live within the county of Cardiff.
Wow.
No, don't worry. Number 6, baptised Catholic children who reside outside of Cardiff. So they'd get a priority. You live in bloody Ipswich. Probably actually be worse. You reside in bloody Carmarthen.
Yeah.
You're the next prioritised, providing you've been baptised.
Yeah. They should really shorten that to BCC by now because,
please. We all get what it is,
But don't worry, we're down to number 7, the 7th priority. Looked after or previously looked after children not of the faith. The faith.
Sure.
So they're priority number 7.
So let me just be clear. This thing that there was no evidence for took me 45 seconds to find. And I would tentatively suggest that if the Welsh Government had any realistic passion about solving this as an issue, they, 1, wouldn't pretend it didn't exist, and 2, wouldn't then just gaslight all the people. I say all the people watching. No one's fucking watching that, are they, in the Senedd? It is so confusing. Bear in mind, there's actually 13 of these categories. After looked after children of no faith, it was Christian children of any denomination. And there was 5 categories of them. And then the final one, number 13, was non-Christian children. It just says non-Christian children. That took me barely any time at all to work that out.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't care, Will. Will, they're sorry to be blunt, they don't care.
I said you don't care.
I thought you said you don't care. I thought I'd done all of that and you'd gone, Will, I don't fucking care.
Well, can I stop you there? I couldn't give a shit.
I genuinely thought she said, I don't care.
She said, though. Yeah. I'm surmising what this woman said. Lynn, was it?
Lynn Neagle.
Yeah, that's basically what Lynn said. I just, kind of shortened it a bit.
Neagle-eyed Lynn.
Yeah, rug sweep. Right? But also, well, it's not your job to do this. It is the government's job.
I went to them for comment before I did any of this.
Who's she been advised by? Because obviously she would have been told this question beforehand, right? Does it work like that?
Yeah. So she knows that. So the original question from Jenny Rathbone was, what oversight does the Welsh Government have of the compliance of schools, including faith schools, to prioritise places for looked after children? So she knew that was coming.
Yeah.
One bit was weird because you're an absolute saint and martyr, if we're going to be very religious about it, if you manage to get through her entire thing and follow it, because I had to reread it like 3 times to follow what she was actually saying. But there is a sentence in there where I think she actually agrees with me, where she says, first priority is given to looked after children of their faith over other children of their faith
yes.
in church schools. We already know that. Our argument is that looked after children of no faith are not being prioritised. Yeah. She just agreed with me and then said, if you've got any evidence for this, we'll prove it.
Yeah, it's very defensive up top, isn't it? But then, yeah, there's sort of the crowdsourced government policy feels a bit wild, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's not your job to have to do this. At the end of the day, as a journalist, you've done excellent work in highlighting this, and fair play to Jenny Rathbone for then bringing it up in the chamber. It's now the government's job to go away and fix the problem. We're not having to, maybe not necessarily having to go initially being like, okay, we know this is now an issue. But what is now an issue is the fact that the government's going, well, we can't see any evidence, and you found it in less than a minute.
I should say that we are not aware of, or at least we don't have any evidence support the claims made in the newsletter by Will Hayward, but looked after children are being treated unfairly. 45 seconds on Google. 45 seconds.
Here's your evidence, Lynn.
And I'm going to go on a limb and say that the Minister for Education might have some resource to know things about education.
That you might not have yet,
Shocking.
In Lynn Neagle's defence, some people might say, well, maybe she's quite new to this. She has been in the Senedd since it started in 1999. This isn't her first rodeo. Although maybe she's got no evidence that there is a Senedd.
Yeah, but is this sort of classic Senedd, though, of, we've heard that this is going on. We might have a meeting about whether or not this is actually true. And then we'll have another meeting to decide if we're going to do anything about it. Then we'll have another pwyllgor about that as well. This is classic fucking Senedd. This is the least inspiring kind of politics ever.
I mean, they haven't even bothered to organise a committee to write a report that's going to report back in a year and a half that they can then do nothing about. I mean, it didn't even reach that. They were so dismissive of it.
Well, if you want to stand as First Minister, stand as First Minister.
Do it. He's a Nepo baby. Mark Drakeford is his uncle.
He's a Nepo nephew.
He's Nepo nephew.
You can't spell nephew without nephew.
Nephew,
baby.
Make it work.
Yeah, you get that in the edit, though. Make me look good in the edit, yeah?
I think we've made the point on this. There is an issue. It was raised. They have just not even said, we're looking into it. They've said, we don't believe this is an issue, when it is self-evidently is.
Yeah, it's a weird reaction to a level of scrutiny, right?
There's a few ways that ministers can be scrutinised. They can be scrutinised in committees. They can be scrutinised within the Senedd chamber by other MSs, and they can be scrutinised by the media. She was scrutinised in the media, and she was scrutinised by a question in the Senedd, and she dismissed it while simultaneously completely disproving her own point. It was ridiculous.
But the Welsh Government also isn't used to being scrutinised. Do you know what I mean? I think the way that the system has been up until now, there hasn't been that much kind of like active scrutiny. And then when it does happen, it's almost like they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, sure.
But then isn't that the kind of problem? This is the root of a lot of the problems we're seeing now, isn't it?
Should we move on?
Yes.
So I got sent this by someone over last week, and they'd been listening to LBC. Do you guys ever listen to LBC?
No, it's not good for my blood pressure, to be honest with you.
No, I listen to BBC Radio Wales.
Specifically between 9 and 12.
What times do you listen?
Usually in my headphones, 9 till 12.
So there was a debate involving host Ian Dale, and there was quite a few people on it, but two of them who I'm going to draw attention to. One was former Tory MP from Birmingham, Joe Gideon, and the other was the current Labour MP for Scarborough in Yorkshire, Alison Hume. So there was a question asked them, and the question said that given reform are gaining traction in Wales, should the UK government be offering devolution powers akin to Scotland to Wales to help save the Union? They say reform is neck and neck with Plaid Cymru to win next year's elections, dethroning Labour's long-held position, which means the Union must offer radical powers to Wales. So the backdrop to this was that David Jones, the former Secretary of State for Wales, Tory, had defected to Reform. So this question was completely about Wales. It was specifically about Wales. The response to start with was 3 minutes where they didn't mention Wales at all. They didn't say the word Wales. They didn't talk about it. They just talked about reform.
Sure.
But then, to be fair, Ian Dale brought the question back to Wales. He said, let's get back to the question we were asked about. What should happen with Wales? Should Wales get more devolution powers? I know some of you represent areas on the other side of the country, so I'm not sure this will be uppermost in your mind. And then before they could answer, he said to the MP for Yorkshire, I imagine you'd want devolution for Yorkshire. To which she replied, I think the GDP for Yorkshire is certainly larger than Scotland. Maybe not, but you know.
Oh, wow. Sure.
So
Another passionate person here we have. Great.
Yeah.
Probably, sure. Who cares?
So to be clear, the GDP of Yorkshire is lower than Scotland.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you mean to like shout at you? Obviously will.
Obviously will.
Obviously the member, yes.
But then one of the great brains of the former Tory government, Jo Gideon, she launched in with, I think the challenge for Wales, it has a population of 2 million.
Not true.
That is challenging.
Yeah.
That is challenging that we've lost 1 million people.
Yeah.
Where are they?
It's been a big week for Wales.
Goodness gracious.
So Ian Dale then replied, it's 3 million. And she went, yeah, it's smaller than Birmingham, isn't it? To which Ian Dale said, no. Then she went back, it's the second biggest city. And Ian Dale went, Birmingham is 1.2 million.
Oh.
And then, don't worry, because when you come across a mind as acute as hers, you can sidestep, you can miss all these pitfalls you've made for yourself. She said, so, at what point do we declare Yorkshire an independent state? Or Cornwall? Giggling and laughter in the background. It could be that. There's a growing sense that people want to have autonomy over their own patch. And I think Wales, if Wales was to expand, that would be problematic. I don't know.
We're not expanding.
We've just expanded from under 1.2 million to 3.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're growing
and then
fast.
backed down. We did then back down to 2 somehow.
Also, being called a patch doesn't sit very well with me.
We're going to fucking come to that. And then she said, I recently heard that somebody in Wales, she's not specific, somebody in Wales suggested that they would take all Gaza as refugees, that Wales would be happy to accommodate them. Now, if that had happened with that level of autonomy, I don't know. That could have a serious impact on the UK government. A few things. To be clear, no one's suggesting that we devolved immigration. Nobody is suggesting that. Plaid suggested that Wales should take more Gaza refugees, but it wasn't, we're going to take the whole of Gaza. The other thing to say is, go back to what you were just saying. What annoyed you about that?
Wales being described as a patch.
A patch.
Yeah, we're a back garden.
Yeah.
I'd like a fucking apology.
Yeah.
Sorry. Is she alright?
Who is she? Who is she?
Who is she?
Sorry.
She's a former Tory MP.
What's she doing now? Not a geography teacher.
Talking bollocks by the sounds of it. Let's Google it.
What the hell?
Jo Gideon.
Yorkshire's going to want independence soon. No, they don't.
Yeah. Should we get her on?
Please. She could teach us some things. She can probably find Wales. Should we go around Solihull? Is it here? Is it here?
She might be one of the 1 million missing.
Yeah, this is true.
I can't find any example of what she used to do, but she ran a business importing and selling handmade paper, presumably toilet paper with the amount of shit she just talked.
Zena, come on. He's on fire.
Goodness gracious. Award-winning.
Multiple, come on.
Multi-award winning.
Cool. Well, glad to see you guys are back on form.
Yeah.
But that idea of being a patch and not a country, I think it's really frustrating because instantly they say, I know I'm not an advocate for Welsh independence, but the way they instantly go, well, yeah, Yorkshire should be independent. Are we saying that? Are we saying Yorkshire should be independent? And no, Yorkshire is not a nation. Wales is a nation. Wales is a country. Yorkshire, don't at me. I'm not from Yorkshire's listening. They are...
One sad Yorkshireman takes his headphones out.
Yeah. Sends a
Very loyal, wearing his T-shirt and his hoodie and his cap. I suppose this isn't for me anymore.
It's just a really sad voice note that's been sent to us. And I think what this shows is that Wales is not... It's not that there's this kind of conspiracy against Wales to keep Wales down. no one even thinks about it within the UK government. It isn't even an afterthought. It's not even a thought. It's just this. It's such a. I mean, they don't know anything about devolution. They don't know anything about Wales.
Or Wales at all.
Yeah.
Can I say something problematic? I've asked permission this time.
Yeah.
When people are like, why don't we like English people? This is the reason.
I'm English.
Yeah, but right. So I was on a Radio Cymru show this week with Betty George, very prolific female journalist. She was like one of the first women in the newsroom in BBC in Wales, like a real like trailblazer. And she was meant to be doing a profile about me. And Will Hayward came up very quickly. What a big fan she was. I'm translating, but she said you were the best kind of Welshman.
English by birth.
She said, I can't remember the words exactly, but she was like, he's the best kind of Welshman. And I was like, he is, I know. Can we get back to me, please, Betty?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
who's the best kind of Welsh woman?
Yeah. If it's just ideas, yes, I thought you'd enjoy that.
Firstly, I'm sorry to have come up in your profile.
This happens all the time.
He's going to be in your obituary.
Yes, I know. Yeah, because he's going to have written it. Yeah.
Killed by Will Hayward.
It's easy to see why someone in Wales will feel anti-English when they hear that. My thing to that would be anti-Englishness within Wales, anti-the English, I think is just such a wasted emotion. I can understand people, there been rivalry, totally get that, totally get why people were, I totally get why Welsh people wouldn't support England in like competitions. I find it really annoying when there's an assumption that, why don't you support England? We're all part of the home nations.
Yeah.
Like, as a person born in England, I totally get why Welsh people are like, get in the bin, we're not doing that. Like, read a book. The interests of your average person in Wales is pretty well aligned in terms of the challenges they face with people in many parts of England.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, though, that when you speak to the majority of people in England, there is just this attitude of Wales is somewhere they go on holiday. It's the ugly little brother that nobody really gives a shit about. And I think it's not these individuals' fault. They're not educated on Wales at all. Like, if Wales were respected within the UK, the fact that there's a Welsh language, I'm not saying there has to be taught as the language in English schools, but just a general knowledge of the fact that it exists would be taught in England.
I think it's similar to Ireland as well, though.
Yeah.
Like, I read Killing Thatcher, that amazing book that was out a couple of years ago, and like the history of Ireland and obviously the Troubles and stuff was something that I never really knew about.
Exactly.
When you think of like from the Northern Irish point of view as well, that kind of history as well, we're not taught that.
No,
yeah.
And I do agree with you,
true.
but I think the gap in that knowledge about Wales is often just automatically filled with disrespect.
That you're so right.
Anything that we're not taught, therefore, isn't worth learning.
It is, as though their education has been so well rounded that that anything not in it isn't worth knowing.
Wasn't there that thing of when Gove was Education Minister of the UK government, he did like a survey and basically it came back that like just more Tudors. That's what we need in GCSE.
Yes.
Just like Tudor.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
But this, I would say, is a bit of a common theme within like history lessons within schools in terms of like, I saw a meme that was like, the way England portrays itself in its own history lessons, it was like a golden Labrador. The way England is portrayed in the rest of the world's history lessons, a wolf.
Yeah.
And I think that is, Wales did its thing as well, but I think that is very prevalent. And like, I don't think we're alone in this. I mean, go to Scotland; they're not keen on English people.
Yeah, if a lot of people think you're problematic, maybe it's you.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Maybe
if you're
it's
the
you.
common denominator, do you know what I mean?
God, there's lots of twats about. They don't think you're a twat.
I actually think part of the problem is this conflation of Englishness with Britishness. Like,
for sure.
Within England, like, is a large group of people that see Englishness and Britishness as interchangeable. And I think part of that is because Englishness has never really developed as a thing unto itself.
Yeah.
Like, it is just, it's been British, isn't
Yeah.
it? And I think the problem with that is, if you see Englishness and Britishness as the same, your attitude towards the other component parts of this union is likely, it can easily be led into a patronising or dismissive route.
Yeah, well, I suppose that sort of from their point of view, then what are you worried about? We're all British, whereas you see it a lot during sporting tournaments like the Euros and stuff. Like Keir Starmer saying like, "We're all behind you, Lionesses." Like, well, actually, like Wales have also qualified, and I know he's like him and Elena did like a press thing, like
Keir Starmer standing up and saying, "If you live in Britain, you should speak English."
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Yeah, let's
actually,
apply that, shall we?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people speak Welsh. Like, Welsh is an official language here in Wales. Like, actually,
the rule doesn't apply.
I don't think he was saying that because Keir Starmer is in any way anti-Welsh language. I just didn't think it would remotely occur in his wildest dreams to reference it.
He wasn't thinking about it at all, because obviously he was talking about immigration from outside of the UK and people coming here, and
Can you imagine if all the refugees all spoke Welsh?
I fucking love that. I love that. Could you imagine? That would be so great.
Evan on Duolingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they arrive on the boat and they go Borodar Drive.
Yeah.
It's been Hoffi Panas.
Oh, yeah. Blame my fucking panas. Owen!
That is how we solve everything. Yes.
It does just underline, like, we saw recently that there's ideas about having almost I'm trying to remember the word for it, like almost a panel of areas like people like Andy Burnham in Greater Manchester, Leonard Morgan in Wales. But I'm really deeply uncomfortable of conflating Wales and Scotland with the component regions of England. I think England needs more devolution to those areas. But I don't think you can compare the like Greater Manchester with Wales. Wales and what the Welsh Parliament is an expression of a nation supposed to be coming of age and harnessing this idea of something that is culturally different and letting that grow and prosper. The development of Greater Manchester, it's essentially a more efficient way of running a tram system.
Yes, you're so right.
And I'm not making slights now. I actually think
great,
Greater Manchester, my brother lives there. He loves it. Like,
for efficiency and for monetary reasons and everything, that makes sense. And it would be really good for the growth of the city. But you can't compare the cultural element that Wales and Scotland has.
The calling of a referendum on Scottish independence to be decided by the people of Scotland demonstrated that ultimately the authority of whether a country remains in the Union lies within the component people of those nations. And the very fact that referendum was called demonstrates that actually, like, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, that's a can of worms I'm not opening today, and England are component nations that are things in and of themselves. And the problem is, because of this conflation of Englishness and Britishness, that will not have permeated across England, which is 85% of this United Kingdom.
I was listening to a book this week, and it was talking about when the train system came in and how lots of different regions of the UK had different time zones. But obviously then when everyone started to go on the trains, then that's when they started adopting Greenwich Mean Time. And it reminded me of like when things change within governments and countries in policy. Can you imagine if Keir Starmer came out and said everyone is having the same time now? Like, we're no longer being like 9:20, or like everyone is now on Greenwich Mean Time, and how much that would kick off in terms of like,
they're trying to control us.
The woke are controlling time. And you see it a lot with like sort of like driving policies, and when seatbelts came in, people hate change.
Yeah.
It's just like that is a huge thing with like all different regions having their own slight different time zones. Yeah. But everything going to Greenwich Mean Time. It's such a huge amount of government control. I was just listening to it with like a very current perspective on it, going like, people would complain so much about that now.
The kicking off would be unreal, wouldn't it?
Yeah. There's so many things that if they were introduced now, certain elements of our society would find a way to be really annoyed by it.
Yeah.
So, like, can you imagine if we didn't have to have driving lessons? We could just have a driving license.
Yeah.
And we said, we want to introduce a test so that people have to pass it before they can drive.
Yeah.
People would go mad.
Yeah, and a written test before you can do the driving. But I can drive. Of course I can drive. I'm not right. I can't write. People would kick off about a theory, wouldn't they?
Theory's so hard.
What else should people?
Perception.
No,
what else should people get annoyed about if we tried to introduce like a legal drinking age?
Yeah, no, that is, exactly. Don't parent my children. Yeah, I'll decide when they can have a Jaeger bomb. If I want to give my 4-year-old a Jaeger bomb for breakfast, that's my choice as a parent, okay? Oh, that's one thing that... As a mother, you want to tell... As a mother is such a weaponized
speaking as
phrase.
a mother.
Speaking as a mother. They can say whatever they want after that.
Yeah.
Speaking as a mother, I think...
Yeah.
And then it has to be true.
Don't tell me how to raise my kids.
Yeah.
Guys who say as a father, and I'm like, literally your only qualification for that is that you did a thrust.
Yeah.
like, well done, mate.
Thanks.
Did a thrust.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
you,
it.
You've thrusted at least twice.
Only the once, actually.
The math ain't mathing.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was an
such a good
it was an
point, isn't it?
interesting and maybe people were kicking off back in back in early days of public railways. But it just feels like we're a very divided society and globe, I suppose, at the moment, aren't we? And I think social media is to blame.
That's a really interesting fact though, that I didn't realise that is when we all went on Greenwich Mean Time, that we all had different time zones in the UK.
Throughout the UK, and it was also like, it was never like hours, it was like 20 minutes different or 40 minutes different. So when trains left, it would say the hour that they left, but they wouldn't say when it arrived.
Because it might be in a different time.
Totally.
Oh, see, no. This would drive me mental. Because I can't go with the flow at all.
Sure.
I need to know when the flow starts and ends. I need times. And, again, I'm going to say something problematic that you guys won't be able to comment on. But island time is very much a thing, right? So my Caribbean families, time perception, when they think they can turn up, they're given 2 o'clock. Turning up at 2 o'clock the next day is acceptable, apparently.
If you're meeting family from the Caribbean,
they'll get there when they get there.
And do you kind of have to? You just have to accept that. You can't fight that.
I become so fucking Rule Britannia when it comes to time concept. Honestly, I'm there. I'm one of those in a Union Jack suit being like, actually, queuing's a good thing.
Tapping your watch.
Right?
That is so me, honestly. I never feel less black than when it comes to waiting for my family to arrive to things.
That's very funny.
It's a real, and my Caribbean friends, it's a stereotype for a reason, and I can't stand it. And it makes me feel very Caucasian.
Well, we're releasing this episode a couple of days late, so we can just say this is the island episode, I suppose. Am I okay to say that? I think it's said with love.
That was brilliant.
Thank you very much.
That was wonderful.
Cool. So next week we are recording from the Royal Welsh Agricultural Show. This week the Welsh Government announced their sustainable farming scheme. Now we have deliberately not talked about this, even though it is massive news, because we're going to be at a event surrounded by farmers. We've got politicians coming on, we've got farmers coming on, so we're going to save it for them.
Are we all bringing an animal each? I think that would be great.
To slaughter.
Yes, on the pod. So at the end of each section, normally it goes doo-doo-doo. Actually, what you'll hear is oink.
Sure, yeah. Why do you think I was going swimming with turtles? This is...
He's got it in his bag ready.
Boy's going to crack.
Yeah. Will is not a fan of this.
What we should do is make it like a TV show and just put the credits above Will's sad face, just like a one shot on him, just with the credits.
I'm going to ask you not to kill the only animal I'm not allergic to.
Oh, bless you. Do you know, if you were ever lost at sea, the meat is very good for you to eat. However, the blood is poisonous.
Why are you doing this?
Just so you know, just in case.
No, I die.
Well, you die before eating a turtle.
Turtles are more endangered than twatty journalists. There's plenty of us.
I'm being honest, I'm eating the fucking turtle.
Why is the blood poisonous? What's going on?
Very high in iron, really high in iron.
So you need it well done.
Yeah, you need them very flambéed, But no, you can eat the meat raw. Just if ever you find yourself life of pied, just a hint.
This is what we offer on the pod.
Exactly.
You are absolute barbarians.
There'll be more of this at the Royal Welsh.
Yeah.
We won't do a live slaughter if that's not what the people want. But we will be at the Royal Welsh show, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, we'll do the slaughter at the live show in Wrexham.
Yes, brilliant. Which is on
the first Saturday.
At the moment,
September.
we don't know about ticket sales yet because they haven't let us know, but we know it's going to be us and Dean who sent us a voice note.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, so if you want to be the 5th person there, please come along. It'll be
Bring
great.
an animal.
Yes. Maybe slaughter it, maybe don't. You can find the link in our show notes, on our socials. Just, Google T-Power for Walesy Wales. That's how I found out about it.
Yes, John. I'm going where?
Yeah, exactly. We're in Wrexham. Cool.
Yeah, amazing.
Yes.
Thanks for a fun pod, guys.
Thank you as ever. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Ta-ra.